everybody. My name is Kyla. I am one of the field instructors here at the Environmental Education Center here at Cuyahoga Valley National Park. I work for the Conservancy for Cuyahoga Valley National Park, and we're going to be doing a live stream today to show you some of the activities that we like to do here at camp. One of the main things that we like to do here is talk about watersheds and talk about water quality science. So I have this really cool model here in front of me. This is called an Enviroscape, and it is actually a model of a watershed. So if you know what a watershed is, you can go ahead and give us a thumbs up if you're looking at the post, and I'm going to go ahead and explain that for you as well. So here we have kind of a model of a piece of land, right? And we have this big body of water at the bottom, and it looks like everything is draining down there, right? So a watershed is any area of land where the water that hits the ground all flows to a common body of water, which is an ocean, a lake, or even a river. So if we are looking at this Enviroscape and thinking about where we are in the Cuyahoga Valley, this river is going to be the Cuyahoga River. And then this big body of water that it drains into is Lake Erie, one of our Great Lakes. So what I want to talk about today is how our water can be polluted, not just through the water itself, but also the land, the watershed that surrounds it. So when we're thinking about a watershed, we are thinking about different things that might get on the land that could end up in the water. So if we're thinking about Northeast Ohio in particular, we have some pretty tough winters here sometimes, right? And if you're trying to get to school or to work safely, right? If there's ice on the roads, the city might come through and dump some salt, right? So we're gonna dump all this salt. It's gonna keep us safe while we're driving in the winter. Make sure that we're not sliding off the roads. But there might be some consequences of putting the salt down on the roads. We will see. Make sure that everybody in this neighborhood is safe and that the ice is melting so that they can get to work and school safely. All right, so let's say that's one of those storms that we had a couple of weeks ago, right? Spring is starting to happen, so the snow and the ice is melting, right? All of this salt is still on the roads, but maybe we will also have some other things on the road. So let's say this little blue car, he's driving home, but he's got an oil leak. That happens. And he's leaving some oil on the road. He goes and parks, passes this green car up here, parks at his house, leaves some oil there, and maybe on his road as he's going home, commuting home, right? So an oil leak from a car. And if you take a look at our watershed, there's some other features that might impact the quality of our water. So over here we have some farmland. What do farmers put on their fields to help their plants grow and to keep insects off of their plants from eating them? Right? We've got fertilizers and pesticides. So I'm just going to quickly put some fertilizers and pesticides here on our farm field to help those plants grow, to keep insects that are going to be a problem off of them. There we go. And we also have some sediment, right? Some dirt, some loose dirt that is on our farm fields as well. We got some dirt there, maybe on this dirt road here. Also, we have some sediment that's on the banks of our river. Here we go, where we don't have any rocks holding in that sediment. And over here as well. Over here we have a little construction site going on, so we can put some sediment over there as well. Perfect. So we have oil from a car, right? We have road salt, which keeps us safe but might have some consequences. We also have some fertilizers, some pesticides, and some loose sediment on our watershed. So when we think about our watershed and how water cycles, you might be experiencing this right now if you look out your window, but we oftentimes will have precipitation, right? So that is when water in some form falls from the sky, right? From clouds where it's concentrated up there and hits the ground. And we're going to see what's going to happen as it's raining on our watershed. There we go. So it's raining. This is kind of a gentle rain. And as we're starting to see this water move, I want you guys to look here at what is happening to some of those contaminants that were on our watershed, those things that might end up in the water and cause some harm. So if you take a look here at this oil, what do you notice is to happen to the oil? Maybe I increase the storm that we're having, it starts raining just a little bit harder. you start to notice that this oil is moving, right? So over here where we have our fertilizers and our pesticides, what is happening to those as it's raining down on our farmland here? So over here as well, where we had all this salt, might be a little bit more difficult for you to see. But as our storm is increasing in intensity, right, this water is just streaming down into our common body of water. And what is our common body of water here that we talked about? If you take a look there, all of these contaminants are ending up in what is our common body of water, Lake Erie, in this example, right? So the point of this Enviroscape, is just to show you, right, that along with water cycling in our watershed, contaminants can also cycle. So this is something important to think about when we're thinking about being stewards of our watershed, of taking care of our water. So it's very important to take care of the water itself, right? But to keep a water system clean, right, we need to be taking care of our watershed as well and making sure that we are not contaminating with things that could end up in our water. Anything that ends up on the land around a body of water can also end up in that body of water because of things like runoff and precipitation. So that's what I wanted to show you guys today. Are there any questions from the live stream? All right, awesome. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Follow our page to find out when we will be doing our next live stream. Thank you guys so much. Have a good day.